Welcome to this first video of yoga classes. I hope this finds you well and that you're coping okay under the circumstances. I will progressively be building a library of yoga videos for both beginners and those who are more experienced with yoga for you to practice at home. I'll be providing options, and if you are new to yoga, just please follow on the best you can, listen out for options, and I can assure you that you'll be experiencing the benefits right from your first class. And the focus of these classes is not only to improve us physically, building practical strength, improving our flexibility, balance and agility, but perhaps more importantly, it also helps to slow us down, to calm the mind, and to release the stress and tension and anxiety that we might be holding in our bodies and in our minds. And the focus or the structure of these classes, we begin with some breathing exercises to slow us down physically, quieten the mind, and then we have some warming up exercises to prepare the body for the more physical part of the class, where we systematically do some yoga poses to release that stress and tension we hold in our bodies. So that by the end of the class, when we finish off with a meditation for 15 minutes, you should be feeling energized, calm and centered. I should also say that you are in control of these classes, so you choose what you want to do. I'm here to guide you, and if you don't want to do a particular pose, then you come back into this seated position, or alternatively you can come into child's pose. I'll just show you how we go into child's pose. This is a resting pose or a neutral pose. Put the toes together, the knees apart, work the tailbone down towards the ankles, and then placing the arms out in front. And in this way we stretch through the ankles, through the knees, through the hips, through the shoulders and through the arms. So I hope you enjoy the classes. This has been the first class. We'll be treating it as a bit of a research project, and hopefully we can improve upon these videos in the future. So let's begin with pranayama, and this is where we can lie down on our backs in Savasana. Just relax the arms by the side, palms are facing up. Let the feet fall away from the centre line of the body. We're going to be connecting with our breath. So you might like to close your eyes. And just begin by becoming aware of the breath as it comes in and out of the body. So in this exercise, we'll be breathing into the three sections of the lungs for a total count of 9. Firstly into the lower lungs, then the mid lung, then the upper lung. Then hold for a count of 2. Then exhaling in one smooth out breath. So to begin, exhale completely. Then inhale into the lower lungs, 1, 2, 3, the mid lungs, 1, 2, 3, and upper lungs, 1, 2, 3. Hold for a count of 2, and then exhale, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the out breath for a count of 2, then inhale, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right up to the clavicle, 1, 2, 3, hold, exhale, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the out breath for a moment, and just try this breathing practice for the next 3 or 4 breaths. In your mind, as you're counting, just count the rate you need to take the full in-breath and the full exhale. If you find it's uncomfortable at all, then just come back to your normal breathing pattern. Now bring your breath back to its normal breathing pattern. And just notice how you're feeling in your body now. If you'd like to open your eyes, please, and come back into a seated position. And from here we'll come into standing. We'll begin with some warming up exercises, and this is where we coordinate our breath to movement. In doing so, it helps soothe the nervous system and prepares the body for the class. If you'd like to interlock your fingers, then as you breathe in, bring the arms up, coordinating breath to movement, to shoulder height, and then exhale, pressing down through the arms, exhaling all the breath out of the lungs. Breathing in, bringing the arms out in front, keeping the arms straight, and if it feels right, looking at the back of the hands, see if a gentle arch in your back. And as you exhale, open up through the chest and shoulders. Breathing in, deep breath in, exhale. Getting all the air out of the lungs, we press down into the hands. Breathing in, arms out in front. Long through the spine. And exhale, open through the chest and shoulders once more. And just relax the arms by the side, relax the shoulders back. We're coming into a forward fold. Breathing tall. And as you exhale, keeping the chest lifted, pivoting at the hips. And at the last moment, release the hands down towards the mat. Just relax the head down so there's no wrinkles at the back of the neck. You might like to move the head into a yes-no type motion. Just releasing some of the surface tension around the neck and shoulders as we stretch through the hamstrings and through the back. And now with the next breath, bend the knees to protect the back. Inhale and slowly unfolding through the back. We'll finish off this warming up sequence by bringing the arms up, making a fist with both hands, keeping the chin lifted for correct spinal alignment, breathing tall. And as you exhale, looking over your right shoulder. Inhale, coming back through the centre. Exhale, looking over the left shoulder. Keeping elbows lifted. Inhale, coming back through the centre. Keeping the hips forward as we look over the right shoulder. Inhale, back through the centre. And exhale. Inhale, back through the centre. Then relax the arms down. We now come into a sequence, the Sun Salutation sequence, which is a classical yoga sequence which helps improve the flow of energy through the spine. So if you'd like to come in with your feet together, Samasthiti, equal standing position. Coming to the front of the mat, facing this way, and placing the hands into heart centre. Breathing tall through the crown of the head, drawing the belly in, straight back. Deep breath in, relax the arms, inhale, lifting up, fingertips touching, looking up to the fingers. Exhale, swan dive into a forward fold. Inhale, left leg back, deep into a lunge. So we're keeping the thighs lifted and we're working the hips down. Then release the knee and relax the foot. Breathing in, both arms out in front. And as you exhale, coming into the hips, shoulders back, and opening up through the chest and shoulders. Hands to floor. The front leg comes back as we come into downward facing dog. This is where our hands are shoulder width apart, feet are hip width apart. The aim is to have a straight line from the wrists, through the shoulders, up through to the hips. And gentle pressure in the back of the legs, pressing into the heels of the feet. Having the hands flat on the mat and lengthening through the spine. Breathing in through the nose, neither out through the nose or out through the mouth. The next breath coming forward into a high push-up or plank position. This is too strong in the core, then you can come down onto the knees. But see if you can keep the hips in line with the shoulders and the knees. If it's too strong on the wrists, then come down onto the elbows. Again, keeping the straight line from the shoulders, hips, through to ankles. And as you exhale, slowly coming down. And if you can, just hovering off the floor. Upper body strength. Then release, resting on the front of the feet, shoulders back, and you can either come up onto your forearms into cobra position, or keeping the hands underneath the shoulders, elbows tucked in to either halfway lift or coming up into full up dog position. Resting on the front of the feet. See if we can maintain a steady breath. And coming down onto the knees, toes are touching, knees apart. Coming into child's pose. Feel the release of the tension in the lower back as we work the tailbone down towards the ankles. Holding here for 3 more breaths. The next breath, looking up, coming up onto the knees, tucking the toes in behind, feet hip width apart, lifting up through the tailbone, downward facing dog. Keeping the straight line from the wrists through to the hips. You've got the option of lifting up the right leg straight up into the sky, keeping equal pressure into both hands. With the next breath, bending both knees, and we're working the right foot through to the inside of the right hand. You might need to help that foot come forward by holding onto the ankle and bringing it well forward. So we get opening up through the hips, stretching to the hip flexors. Then release the knee, relax the foot. Breathing in. As you exhale, sinking into the hips, hands to mat. Back leg comes forward as we come into a forward fold. We'll just rest here for a moment. And bending the knees, inhale, lifting up, fingertips touching. Exhale, placing hands into heart center. We'll try the same sequence, the other side. Hands into heart center, breathing in, lifting up, fingertips touching. Exhale, swan dive into a forward fold. This time right leg back. Right leg steps back, deep breath in, right leg back. Keeping the back leg straight, pressing into the heel of the right foot. Then release the knee and relax the foot. Breathing in, both arms out in front. And as you exhale, sinking into the hips, opening through the chest and shoulders. Hands to floor. Front leg steps back, coming into downward facing dog. We're holding here for 4 more breaths. The next breath, we're looking up, coming forward into a high push-up position, plank. Remember, you've got the options of coming down onto the forearms or coming down onto the knees. And as you exhale, coming down, if you can, hovering off the floor. Then release, resting on the front of the feet, shoulders down and back, elbows tucked in, coming up into the halfway lift, or you've got the option of coming down onto the forearms, or coming up into full up dog position. And coming down onto the knees, toes are touching, knees apart, child's pose. With the next breath, coming back onto the knees, feet hip width apart, lifting up through the tailbone as we come up into downward facing dog. And you can stay in this position. If you'd like to take it a little further, you can lift up the left leg. Keeping both legs straight and strong, toes pulled back, pressing into the palms of the hands. Now bending both knees, we're working the left foot through to the inside for the left hand. Again, you might need to help that foot come forward, so we're maximising the effectiveness of the stretch. Then release the knee, relax the foot, breathing in. As you exhale, shoulders back, opening up to the chest and shoulders, hands to floor. The back leg comes forward as we come into a forward fold. Bending the knees to protect the back. Inhale, arms out to the side. Breathing in. And as you exhale, working the hands back into heart center. And then release. If you'd like to now place the hands on the hips, we'll continue to work doing some standing yoga moves to improve our strength, flexibility, stamina, and balance. So bring the left leg back, left leg goes back, and then turn the feet so we're all facing this way. Breathing in, lifting tall, coming into a wide stance forward fold. Breathing tall. As you exhale, coming down. You might like to place the hands on the mat or walk
the hands between the feet. Keeping the legs straight, tailbone lifted. Again, you might like to move the head into a yes-no type motion. And if you'd like to have a shoulder stretch, you can place the hands behind the back, clasp the hands behind, and lift the clasped hands over the shoulders. Release the hands. Place the hands on the thighs for support. Bend the knees and slowly come up. The right foot turns directly in front and the left foot turns in. We're coming into Warrior Two. And bending the right knee, back leg turns in. There's a line on the mat, the heels would be aligned. And bringing the arms up. Shoulders round and back. Strong. Warrior Two. So the aim here is to keep the shoulders over the hips. Have the knee in line with the big toe. Now turning the left palm up and looking over your left shoulder. Just releasing some of the tension around the upper spine. Turning the palm back down and facing this way. Now coming forward, elbow to thigh, left arm rises. Here we're trying to keep the shoulder open, the hips open rather than curling in. And if it feels right for you, looking at the inside of the palm of the left hand as you lift and reach towards the ceiling and pressing into the heel of the left foot. And with the next breath, the left arm comes down and the right arm rises into Sun Warrior. The right arm lifts up towards the ceiling, the left hand comes down towards the ankles. Once again, looking at the inside of the palm of the right hand. See if you can remember to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose or out through the mouth. With the next breath, placing both hands on the front thigh, the back leg comes forward. We'll work the other side. We'll have the left leg in front, the right leg behind. Coming into Warrior Two. The back leg is turned in slightly, front foot facing directly in front, front knees bent, and the hips and the shoulders are in line with the long edge of the mat. And bringing the arms up parallel with the floor. And you can increase the intensity by coming down a little lower. Please make sure that the knee doesn't go over the ankle, otherwise there'll be too much strain on the knee. Shoulders round and back, strong. Now turning the right palm up, looking over your right shoulder. And turning the palm back down again, facing this way. With the next breath, left arm rises, right hand down towards the ankle. Stretching the body in opposite directions. You may feel in the torso. Now placing both hands on the hips, turning the feet, coming back into a wide stance, forward fold. Legs are straight, shoulders back, keeping the chest lifted, breathing tall. And as you exhale, pivoting at the hips, keeping the chest raised. And at the last moment, release the head down towards the mat. And you can either have the arms folded and let the weight of the arms and the head draw down and lengthen through the spine. Or you might like to hold onto the big toes with your 2 fingers and then just working, using the toes as a lever to come down a little deeper into the pose. With the next breath, place the hands on the thighs, bend the knees, and slowly unfolding. The back leg comes forward. We'll try a couple of balance poses. We'll begin with the classical tree pose. This is where our feet are together and we're placing the hands into heart centre. You might like to focus at a point in front of you on the floor, at your drishti, to help maintain your balance. We'll begin by bending the right knee and turning the right knee out to the side. Now you can keep the toes here on the floor, on the mat, or you might like to place the foot on the calf or on the inner thigh. With a straight spine, breathing in, bringing the arms overhead, working the elbows back, activating all the muscles in the standing leg. Then working the hands back into heart centre. You bring the right knee in front and step down. Transferring the weight onto the right leg, bending the left knee. The knee goes out to the side. And once again, you've got the option of keeping the toes on the floor or placing the foot on the calf or on the inner thigh. And once you've got your balance, your focus, breathing in, lifting arms overhead, elbows back, balancing right side, left side, front and back, mind and body. And placing the hands back into heart centre, bringing the knee in front and stepping down. And then release. We'll do one other balance pose. We'll have the left leg in front, the right leg behind. Placing the left hand in front and transferring the weight onto the left leg. You might like to lift up the right foot off the floor, then keeping the shoulders open, the hips open. The left hand comes down. You should bring the right arm up, lifting the right foot off the floor. Now pivoting at the hips, keeping the leg raised behind, strengthening the lower back, focusing the mind, balancing the body. And then bringing the right leg down onto the mat. Other side. Right leg in front, left leg behind. Lifting up the arms, transferring the weight onto the right leg, keeping the left shoulder open as we lift the left foot off the floor, and then windmilling the right arm down, keeping the hips open, and then turning at the hips, keeping the left leg raised, keeping the chest raised, arms out to the side, squaring the hips to the floor. And then bringing the back leg down. We'll do some work now to open up and stretch through our hips. If you'd like to come to the front of the mats again, please, top of the mat. Placing the hands into heart centre. Then as you breathe in, relax the arms, lifting up, fingertips touching. Exhale, swan dive into a forward fold. Inhale, the left leg steps back, deep into a lunge. So the aim here is to keep the left leg raised as we stretch through the hips. Now placing the right hand on the inside of the right foot. Then slowly working the hips and shoulders down towards the mat. You might only be able to move 1 or 2 centimetres. Keeping the right knee in close, just coming down to the depth where you can feel the stretch happening through the hips. If you find this too strong, then bringing the left knee down onto the floor. Make sure the left knee is back as far as possible. If the knee is in close, then we can't go into the hips. If the knee is back, then we can come down into the hips. The next breath, coming back up. And the right foot goes back and the left foot comes forward. Once again, slowly working the hips and shoulders down towards the mat. You've got the option of bringing the right knee down onto the floor, but make sure that the knee is way back so that you can come down into the hips. Try to keep the left knee in close. With the next breath, coming back up. If you'd just like to take a seat for a moment. We're coming into pigeon pose. There's 2 variations for pigeon pose. For those of you who are relatively new to yoga, you might like to try the supine position by lying on your back, bending the knees and bringing the left foot over the right knee. Then interlocking the hands underneath the right thigh. And then you work the knee into the chest. If you'd like to take this stretch a little deeper, you can just turn slightly to the right. And you'll find the stretch coming deep into the glutes. For those of you who've done yoga before, you can come into with your right knee in front, rolling over onto your left thigh, shoulders back, lifting tall. If you like a little more intensity, you can bring this heel out a little further. Less intensity, bring the heel in a little closer. Breathing in. Now as you exhale, coming over the bent knee, and either keeping the arms out in front or placing the palms of the hands down and resting the forehead on the back of the hands. Just let all the tension in these large muscle groups around the hips, the thighs, just melt away into the mat. The next breath, placing the hands next to the shoulders as we come back up. For
For those of you lying on the mat, place the other foot over the knee, right foot over the left knee, interlocking the hands underneath the knee or underneath the thigh. If you'd like to take it further, you can place the hands on the outside of the knee. There's another option of placing the right hand on the right knee, inside of the right knee, pressing the knee away as you work the knee into the chest. For those of you in the conventional pigeon pose, left knee in front, working shoulders back, lengthening through the back, working the right hip flexor forwards and downwards. And then with the next breath coming over the bent knee, once again, either keeping the arms out in front or placing the palms of the hands down onto the mat. If you feel any pain in the left knee, please come out of the pose. The stretch needs to be occurring in the thighs and the hips. And placing the hands next to the shoulders as we come back up. If everybody could come into hands and knees position, please. This is where our hands are shoulder width apart, feet are hip width apart, knees are hip width apart. We're doing some work now to strengthen our core. So if you'd like to bring the right arm up and the left leg up, the thumb is facing up, toes are pointed. The hips and shoulders are square to the floor. And draw the belly in, breathing into the upper chest, belly to spine. If you'd like to take it a little further, as you exhale, bringing the right elbow into the left knee. Breathing in, lengthening. Exhale, strengthening. Inhale. And then placing the hand and the knee back on the mat. Other side. Left arm, right leg. See if we can maintain a steady pose. Once again, if you'd like to take this a little further, as you exhale, bringing the elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, elbow, chin to knee. The slower we do this, the more effective and stronger the pose. And exhale. Inhale. And placing the hands and the knees on the mat. We'll now do some work to stretch and strengthen the back. If you'd like to lie on your backs, please. And have your knees bent, coming into bridge pose. So having the feet hip width apart and walking the heels in as close as we can. You might be able to touch the heels of your feet with your fingertips. Keeping the shoulders anchored firmly on the mat as you breathe in, lifting up through the hips. So we've got a straight line from the knees, hips through the shoulders. We've got the option of clasping the hands behind and shrugging the shoulders under, opening up through the chest. If you'd like to take this a little further, you can bend the right knee in and straighten the right leg.
Bending the knee and bringing the foot back onto the mat. Now bringing the left knee in and straightening the left leg. Bending the knee and placing the foot on the mat. Just if you can work the knees in a little closer. Working the knees in, so you may find an inward rotation in the thighs. And release the hands, release the shoulder blades, and slowly working the back down onto the mat, one vertebrae at a time. Now keeping the knees bent and walking the feet to the outside of the mat. And we'll begin by letting both knees fall across to the left side. The right arm goes out to the side in line with your shoulders, looking over your right shoulder. You might like to place the left foot over the right knee and see if you can really relax the legs as we open up through the back, through the hips, and a stretch across the shoulders. Release the foot, placing the foot on the outside of the mat. Bring both knees back through the centre as you bring your right arm in. You might like to bring the heels of the feet in a little closer. Now bringing both knees across to the right side. The left arm goes out in line with your left shoulder, looking over your shoulder. You might like to place the right foot over the left knee. Relax both knees. With the next breath, release the foot, placing the foot on the outside of the mat, bringing the left arm in. Now keeping both knees bent, bring the feet together. Now let the knees fall away from the centre line of the body, bringing the soles of the feet together. You might like to place the hands on the inside of the thighs. Just close your eyes for the next 5 to 10 breaths as we breathe deep into the belly. A deeply restorative pose, rebalancing and revitalising our internal organs. With the next breath, bring the knees up. Now turning to your right side with your left hand, pressing up onto the mat, coming back up into a seated position. If you'd like to lie on your bellies, please, arms this way. We do some work now to strengthen our back. So we'll begin by both arms out in front. Thumbs are facing upwards. And we're bracing the floor with our thighs. Breathing in. And as you exhale, lifting the arms, the shoulders off the floor. If this is too strong for you, you can bring the arms out to the side, keeping the chest, shoulders off the mat. And bringing the arms back down onto the mat. Keeping the arms on the mat, having the toes pointed, lifting the thighs legs, toes off the floor. The lower back is one of the weak areas, one of the 3 weak areas in the body. The others is the neck and knees. So it's important to strengthen the back. So try to keep the legs straight as we lift the knees and thighs off the floor. Then bringing the legs down. If you'd like to place the hands underneath the shoulders and pressing up onto the knees, knees apart, toes are touching. Bring the tailbone down towards the ankles as we come into child's pose. Arms out in front. Feel the length from the base of the spine, through the shoulders, and feel the length in the arms. From here we'll bring the left arm in and place it underneath the right armpit. And resting the shoulder, the face on the mat. Bringing the arm through once more, placing the left arm overhead, right arm in underneath the left armpit, pressing the arm through, keeping both arms straight, working the tailbone down, stretching to the upper back, the shoulders. This is where we hold our tension, physical, mental, emotional tension. With the next breath, bringing the arm through once more and placing both arms out in front. For a variation of child's pose, you can bring the arms parallel with the shins, resting the forehead on the mat. Now placing the hands next to the shoulders as we come back up. We're coming into a seated position. One way of getting into a seated position is bringing the right knee through, then the left knee through, and coming back into a seated position. We'll finish off with some hamstring stretches. So we'll have the right leg in front and the left leg turned in. If you could place the left hand on the outside of the right leg, right hand on the mat, or if you can, holding onto the outside of the foot. And then just gently working the knee, the chest to the knee. Next breath, coming back up. Other side. Left leg in front. Squaring the hips to the leg in front and placing the right hand on the outside of the leg, or if you can, holding onto the outside of the foot. And once again, if you can't quite hold onto the foot, anywhere along the leg is fine. Yoga is not about being super flexible. It's more about that we're working all the muscles, all the joints through their full range of movement, bringing fresh oxygenated blood to all parts of the body. And with the next breath, coming back up, just turning the left knee in and the right knee out to the side. The right knee's out to the side, left knee in front. And placing the left hand on the outside of the left knee. As you breathe in, coming up onto the knees and swinging the right arm through. Looking at the inside of the palm of the right hand as you lift and reach up towards the ceiling. Opening up through the right shoulder. Pressing through the right hip. The next breath, coming back down. And then swinging the legs across to the other side. Right hand on the mat. Breathing in, working the left arm through, opening up through the shoulders, opening up through the hips, lifting up as high as we can up towards the ceiling. So we're reaching from the waist through to the fingertips as we're pressing through the left hip. And the next breath, coming back down. Okay, we now come to the meditation part of the class. So this will be a 15-minute meditation where you might like to make yourself comfortable at home. You can either stay in a seated position like this, or you can lie down on your back and bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees fall away. You can rest the arms by the side or place the hands on the belly. Or you might like to use a bolster if you have a bolster at home, or even a rolled up mat. This takes out some of the strain out of the lower back. Placing it underneath the knees, it can help you relax and come into your meditation. So finding a position that's most comfortable for you. If you're lying down, you might just like to let the feet fall away from the centre line of your body. Just relax the arms by the side. Elbows are soft. Palms are facing up. Find yourself in the most comfortable position. If you're lying down on the mat, let the feet fall away from the centre line of your body. Relax the arms. Palms facing up. And let your fingers have the natural curl. And let's connect with our breath as we did at the start of the class. Just becoming aware of the breath that comes in and out of the body. This is your time. Your time to relax and be still. In his book, Hurry Up and Meditate, David Michie says, if meditation was available in capsule form, it would be the biggest selling drug of all time. It's been scientifically proven to deliver highly effective stress relief, boost our immune system, and dramatically slow the aging process. It has also been shown to make us happier and more effective thinkers. The ultimate aim of yoga is to prepare the body and mind and to calm the mind for meditation. So I invite you now to listen to the verbal cues as I give. Or alternatively, if you prefer, you can relax in your own space. Just notice the breath as it comes in and out of the body. And have your lips slightly touching. Release the jaw. The eyes are soft. And relax the brain. Feel the whole head, face and neck completely relax. The shoulders, the arms, hands, heavy and relaxed. The whole back of the torso, the spine, relaxed. The whole front of the torso, chest, abdominal organs, completely relaxed. The buttocks, hips, pelvis, soft and relaxed. The legs, feet, heavy. Heavy and relaxed. Feel your whole body completely relaxed. Now bring your awareness to the nostrils, where the air flows in and out. Follow the natural airflow in and out of the nose, feeling the gentle rise and fall of the chest. Now become aware of all the different sounds that you can hear around you. Inside and outside. Moving from one sound to the next. Now become aware of your whole body, either sitting or lying on the mat, feeling completely relaxed, taking slow breaths. Stay with the breath. Stay with the stillness. Be still. Be you. Just be.